Some of you may be a fan of the chilly winter months. I, for one, am not. But I'm on a mission to romanticize winter this season, and if you are keen to join me, grab yourself a cuppa and let's get into the video. Hey there friends, it's Carly. Welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new here, and welcome to another coffee and conversations video where today we're going to be talking about how to romanticize the winter season, creating a winter bucket list, a cozy atmosphere, and kind of the symbolism of winter in general. So sort of starting off with that theme. For many cultures around the world, winter is seen as a very intensely spiritual kind of season. It is symbolically representing a time of like deep spiritual growth, turning within yourself, embracing the quiet and the darkness, letting things go in your life that are no longer serving you and metaphorically need to die, and also having hope for new growth that will come in the springtime. In winter, we also have the winter solstice, which is the longest night of the year, and it signifies the official beginning of winter. In Australia, we have winter in June, July, and August, and I know a lot of us sort of picture winter starting at the beginning of June, but the solstice is sort of that official beginning of winter if you want to sort of be technical about things. And the winter solstice, if we're thinking of it as like a symbolic event, reminds us of our connection to the natural world and represents balance in nature and humanity. I guess that duality of light and dark as well. And also being the longest night of the year, it reminds us to rest. I was looking up some things about winter and its symbolism, and I found this quote which really resonated. It says, "Winter is a time for allowing stillness, prioritizing rest, and embracing a slower pace in the knowledge that spring is on the horizon." So with all of these kind of spiritual and symbolic meanings of winter in mind, I want to launch into how to romanticize winter, and one of the ways that I like to do that is to create a winter bucket list. So I want to share with you guys the bucket list that I have created, which includes some fun winter activities, winter themed movies, and also winter themed books. So for my bucket list, I just got on Canva and I made this little document. I printed it off and I've stuck it in my journal. You would have seen me starting to work on this in my June reset routine if you've checked that out. And all of my bucket lists contain a lovely cozy quote from Taylor Swift, no one else. And this one is, "I love the sense of winter. For me, it's all about the feeling you get when you smell pumpkin spice, cinnamon, nutmeg, gingerbread, and spruce." And I definitely think scents carry memories and nostalgia, and having these kind of like cozy smells in your house, whether it's through cooking or candles or whatever, definitely helps to create that winter atmosphere. But these are the things that I have put on a general winter bucket list, and I'm going to use some of these and add my own to make my own bucket list. So I've got read a cozy book, stay in your pajamas all day, drink hot chocolate, sit by a fire, toast marshmallows, plan a weekend getaway, have a movie marathon, bake cookies, clean out your wardrobe, make a fort, visit a winery, host a game night, journal under a blanket, make a cozy playlist, visit the library, have a snow day, or slow day, but it could be a snow day depending on where you live, and take family photos, and lastly have a phone-free day. So when I was coming up with this list, I needed to be mindful of the fact that In the Southern Hemisphere, obviously winter exists in June, July and August. In the Northern Hemisphere, it's December, January and February. So a lot of people may sort of associate winter, particularly if you're watching a lot of Western movies, with the Christmas season. So when I was sort of getting some ideas for this online, a lot of them were very snow or Christmas related, and I knew that that just wasn't going to resonate with people all over the world. So I have come up with ones that I think are a bit generalized to the winter season, depending on which hemisphere you live in. So it doesn't necessarily matter. And I think definitely some of these I am liking the sound of. I love having a fire on like a really cold winter's day. We don't have a fire in our house, but my parents do. So definitely I'll be heading up there and having some nice moments by the fire, probably watching a movie whilst doing so. I also love having a bonfire. I think the smell of a bonfire is just so comforting and so nostalgic. It reminds me of childhood. Read a cozy book. I feel like you can do that in any season, but it's just so uplifting during the winter time, particularly with a cup of tea or coffee as well. I have not toasted marshmallows in so long, but I definitely think that that's something that I would love to do. Plan a weekend getaway. I feel like during the winter time when you're kind of stuck inside, like whether you are actually undertaking that weekend getaway in the winter time or it's just something that you're using that time indoors to be productive about planning, I feel like maybe you're planning it for the springtime and it's something that you can look forward to while the months are a bit cold and miserable, getting out in the spring. So hopefully this list gives you a few ideas of things that you can schedule into your week to make it a little bit more cozy and uplifting and romanticize your days and that winter season. In my little bucket list planner, I also have a space for me to write out my own bucket list, and I'm definitely going to take some of the things from the previous list and put on that, and I might add a few other things that sort of align with my lifestyle. And I also have a space where I can write my winter to-do list, which is more job related and productivity and things that I need to get done, as opposed to like cozy romantic type moments. Moving on to the last two bits, I've got some recommended movies to watch and also books to read. So winter movies, I have some kind of Christmas related ones on here, but I really didn't, like I said, want to get too bogged down in that. But I've got Love Actually, Harry Potter, which I think you can kind of do almost any season. Works well around the Halloween time as well. The Holiday, Little Women, Notting Hill, The Family Stone, Home Alone, obviously, and Elf, and The Grinch, which are our Christmas themed ones. Good Will Hunting, Serendipity, P.S. I Love You, Julie and Julia, The Chronicles of Narnia, Bridget Jones's Diary, Pride and Prejudice, Frozen, and Ever After. And I feel like all of those movies are like very wholesome, very cozy. Most of them are ones that you could watch like as a family. There's a few romantic ones in there, which I think is nice during the winter time, where you just want to like snuggle up and just have like feel good vibes. So I'm going to go through this list and tick off the ones that I have watched, which I think is almost everyone except for Elf. I have actually not watched Elf. I can't say that I'm a big Will Ferrell fan, so don't come for me if you love Elf or if you love Will Ferrell. If you feel like it's a movie that I definitely need to watch despite my Will Ferrell like aversion, let me know down in the comments below, and maybe I will reconsider my stance on Elf, and it can be part of my Christmas list this year. And then in terms of books to read, we're also going for like a nice slow cozy atmosphere. We've got a lot of more classic type books, so for instance Emma and Jane Eyre and Little Women. We've also got The Secret Garden, which I think would be really nice in the springtime as well. Notting Hill, which I didn't realize was a book as well as a movie, so maybe I need to check that out because I've not read that yet. Persuasion, Chronicles of Narnia, which is on both lists as well. Pride and Prejudice, which is on both lists. I put the Little Book of Hygge on there, which I have got and I have read. I just feel like Hygge just really settles in so nicely with the winter time, where you want just those cozy little spots throughout your house and life. And then kind of related to that, Hygge and Kisses. I have not read that, so maybe I need to put it on my little wish list. Wintering, it's more of like a non-fiction type memoir book. It's not really about the winter time per se, but more the metaphorical winters of your life. So if that's sort of up your alley, it might be an interesting read for you. Robert Frost poetry. I love Robert Frost, and I just feel like if you're into poetry, then he could be a great one to read in the winter time. He also does have the Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening, so I do feel like, you know, it's a great winter's poem. Northern Lights, The Shining. My sister was a bit confused as to why The Shining was on that list. I feel like it definitely stands out as an abnormality in terms of like all the other books I have suggested on there, but it was recommended when I was looking online for some suggestions. And I guess if you want like a bit of a darker, more horror type book for your winter, if you don't want to be uplifted during the winter, then you can read that one instead. We've also got Polar Express, The Left Hand of Darkness, Winter in Paradise, and A Christmas Carol. And there's actually a fair few books on the winter books to read list that I haven't read yet, so I will go in and cross off the ones I have, and maybe I can pick one over the next couple of months to challenge myself to read. I'll go to the local library and see if they have any. I do actually have a book of Robert Frost poetry, and I have read a couple of it. I have read a couple of the poems from that book that I know, but I haven't read the rest. So that could be a very easy one for me to read over the winter time and check that off my little winter books to read list. But I definitely feel like celebrating the season, whether it's a season that, you know, brings you joy, or maybe not so much, maybe you're like me and you're not the biggest fan of the winter time, whether it's the cold weather or the rain or the wind or the darkness or all of the above. I feel like finding ways to just make it a little bit more uplifting and have those cozy moments that you can look forward to every single day is going to help you to get through the winter season without too much sad in your life. And then also, yeah, just find those ways to romanticize the everyday. But if you do have some go-to winter books, winter movies, or winter activities that you just love to do to celebrate life in the winter season, I would love for you guys to list them in the comments down below. If you like this video and want to see some more seasonal content, make sure that you give this one a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe down below. I upload new videos every single week. With that being said, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.